हेलो एंड वेलकम। आज हम स्पोर्ट्स न्यूट्रिशन की दुनिया में गोता लगाने वाले हैं। We're going to get right into the science of what really fuels an athlete's body and powers them to victory.
So, have you ever really thought about what separates a good athlete from a truly great one? It's not just about the hours they put into training. No, it's about the incredible science happening inside their bodies every single second. To really get it, let's follow an athlete's journey, starting right from the explosive get-go of a race.
Okay, so our journey begins with a super high-intensity event, a 200-meter swim. This is just a flat-out sprint against the clock. Iska matlab hai, the body needs a massive, absolutely huge burst of energy, and it needs it instantly. Though, where does all that power come from?
Let me introduce you to ATP. Think of it as the body's energy currency. It's pretty simple, really. Just like you need money to buy things, your muscles need to spend ATP for every single movement they make, no matter how small. Seriously, without it, nothing happens.
Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. Just look at this timeline. The body doesn't just use one fuel source, it uses 3 different systems, seamlessly like a perfectly coordinated relay race. For the first 10 seconds, you've got the ATP-PC system firing off like a rocket booster for that initial explosive start. Then, as you can see, the anaerobic system, that's the main engine. It takes over for the biggest chunk of the race. And finally, to carry the athlete across that finish line, the aerobic system kicks in. It's just an incredible, perfectly timed transition.
So, the race is over. An amazing effort. But now comes the crash. You know, that deep exhaustion, the muscle soreness. Let's dive into why the body feels this way after pushing so hard.
Remember that main engine we just talked about, the anaerobic system? Well, when it's giving us all that incredible power, it also creates a byproduct, lactic acid. That's what causes that burning sensation and fatigue in your muscles. It's basically just the price you pay for high performance.
But you know what? The human body is incredibly smart. It has its own cleanup crew called the Cori cycle. As this slide shows, the liver literally takes that performance-sapping lactic acid from the muscles, recycles it back into useful glucose, and then sends it right back to be used as fuel again. It's a perfect internal recycling system. Pretty amazing, right?
So how does a coach know if an athlete is really recovering or just pushing through the pain? Well, they look at the body's dashboard. This slide shows some key blood markers that act like warning lights. For instance, high levels of creatine kinase, or CK, signal muscle damage and mean recovery isn't complete. And a low testosterone to cortisol ratio, that's a huge red flag that the body is in a breakdown state. This isn't guesswork, it's pure science guiding the entire training process.
Okay, so we've seen how the body breaks down during intense effort. Now for the exciting part, building it back up, even stronger than before. And for that job, the #1 most important building block is protein. Let's see how it works. Here's a key concept you need to understand. Training actually creates microscopic tears in your muscle fibers. Now that sounds bad, right? But actually, it's the whole point. Because when you refuel with protein, the body doesn't just repair these tears, it builds them back bigger and stronger than they were before. This incredible process has a name: muscle protein synthesis. But hold on. Not all proteins are the same. You've got complete proteins, which have all 9 essential amino acids. These are the best for muscle repair. Think chicken, eggs, or soya. Then you have incomplete proteins, which are missing some of those amino acids, but you can combine them. The classic Indian example is dal and rice. On their own, they're incomplete, but together, they form a complete protein.
So how much protein does a strength athlete actually need? Well, the recommendation is right here: 1.6 to 2.0 grams of protein per kilogram of their body weight every single day. Just to put that into perspective for you, that's nearly double what a non-athlete needs.
All right, so protein is for building, but what about the actual fuel, the energy for performance? Now let's take a look at the body's fuel tank, where it stores all the energy it needs to keep going.
The carbohydrates we eat get stored in the body as something called glycogen. And as this chart shows, there are 2 main storage depots. The vast majority, about 80%, is stored directly in the muscles. This is so smart because it's on-site fuel, ready to be used instantly during exercise. The other 20% stays in the liver, where its job is to keep your blood sugar stable, which is absolutely critical for your brain to function properly.
Now let's talk about fats, something that gets a really bad rap. Fats aren't just fuel for long-duration events. They are absolutely essential for producing key hormones like testosterone and for absorbing critical vitamins.
Without healthy fats in your diet, your body simply cannot function at its best. So no, they are definitely not the enemy.
We're at the final stop on our journey. Here, we're going to look at the support systems that make everything else possible. Water, and those tiny little hidden helpers that are the real unsung heroes of performance.
Let's start with the most basic, fundamental fact of all. Your body, at its very core, is mostly water, about 65%. This is the foundation that all performance is built on.
Now look at this number, 2%. It seems so small, right? Almost nothing. But what does a tiny 2% drop in your body's water level actually do to your performance?
And here's the shocker. That tiny 2% drop in hydration can cause a massive 10 to 15% drop in your performance. That could be the difference between winning a gold medal and not even making it to the podium. Hydration is completely, absolutely non-negotiable.
So, how can you keep track of your own hydration? Well, on this slide, there are two super simple ways. First, the urine color test. A pale yellow color is good. Anything darker means you need to drink some water. Second, weigh yourself before and after training. For every 1 kilogram of weight you lose, you need to replenish 1 liter of fluid. It's simple, and it's incredibly effective.
And finally, let's talk about those hidden helpers, micronutrients. Think of them as a team that has to work together. As you can see here, you need iron to carry oxygen in your blood, but you need vitamin C to absorb that iron. You need calcium for strong bones, but you need vitamin D to absorb that calcium. They're the small but absolutely vital cogs that keep the whole performance machine running smoothly.
So there you have it, the science behind an athlete's performance. We've seen how energy is created, how muscles are built, and just how crucial fuel and hydration are. You know the science now, so I have one simple question for you. What's the one change you'll make today to fuel your own performance? Think about it.